Hey, good evening, America. How are you? Listen, if I need anything to put me in the right frame of mind, it is that opening music. I am Wendy Torres from the Mentor Mentee podcast. I am so excited to be here with you as one of your co hosts tonight.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day. I
Yes.
am your other co-host, Emil Thomas. I gotta tell you, Wendy. I know we've been in this now for a couple of episodes.
Uh huh.
But today, I got very nervous when I heard that intro.
Okay. You're right. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, I was
Wait,
like, oh,
don't miss your cue.
I got a lot of buttons to press right now, and I don't know if I am ready. So
Hey, Felicia, how are you? Good evening.
good evening to you. I am so yes. Let's get straight into this.
Okay.
How are you?
Listen, y'all,
Yeah.
I'm in pain. There is no such thing as an active rest day. Somebody must have told that man that I said on national social media, look, national television, because this is the whole TV now, that I had an active rest day on Wednesday because it ain't been no rest for the weary
You
since
haven't had
I
a rest
said
day
it.
in a couple of weeks.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, I've been doing two-a-days. So we're at the very end of a 20-day challenge to be above 100, burning 100 calories a day. And so I wanted to finish strong. So all week I've been doing two-a-days. That means I've been training and doing boot camp in the morning, coming back, doing training and boot camp in the evening. And this morning I got up and worked out with a different team and did ran 4 miles with a group we call the Ball Effect with my friend Captain Kurt, and then went to the gym and did boot camp. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
somebody on here need to come and help me out of this chair because it took everything I have to be here with y'all. I'm doing great though. I'm excited about the topic tonight. I'm excited about what we're doing today. But a sister is in pain. Hopefully, I have some good news for you the next time we see each other.
Okay, I got that. I get
Okay.
that. I listen. It's another week. I get excited every time we get to do this. You know what I thought about today?
Hey, Mama Joyce.
This is what made me excited. Was today I was like, you know what I love? I love the fact that I have somehow gotten 2 hours every week that of your time.
Oh,
And I was like, this is great. That every like I we have our schedule has often been, call me when you have time. I call you when I have time. It's been too long. We need to we need to reconnect. We need to check in with each other. But it is so nice just to have like a consistent amount of time weekly. It's just been lovely. So I look forward to this.
oh,
Well, hello
that
to
is so
you.
awesome.
Thank you. So I'm
Hey,
so
Winona, how are you? Let me
I'm
make sure I give a shout out to Mama Joyce. How are you? I am so privileged that you are here with us tonight, ma'am. Go ahead, sir. I just had to
Are
speak
you
for a few
okay?
people.
I
Yeah.
know. I think there were others. I thought you were gonna go for all of them.
Yeah, so let me say hi, Mario. Hey, Felicia. Winona, I'm so glad that you're here with us. Hill Story, I'm excited that we're about to hear from her and some others. Noelle, so I'm just excited to be here. See, I'm excited. You need to keep
Okay,
going because
okay,
I'm
okay,
excited.
okay, okay. I got you. I understood. All right, y'all. Let's get straight into the episode of the day. As you know, we're going to be talking about HBCUs or PWIs. If you do not know, HBCU is historically Black college or university, or PWI. PWI stands for predominantly white
White, you,
institutions.
yes.
And so we are going to welcome two guests.
Have
These
you
are
looked either one of those up? Are they in the dictionary?
the phrase PWI and HBCU.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest to you. No, I've never looked it up in the
They're probably
dictionary.
in the Urban Dictionary, but as far as we're concerned, that's what they mean. So don't act, now you know. Okay, you can
Now,
go.
well, yeah. If anyone tells you that's what they meant,
That's
listen.
what they mean.
I learned PWI when I went to my PWI.
Right.
So,
That's a
and I
recent term.
yeah. I guess. What did you call it back then?
West Georgia University.
I got you. And now
to
you know.
the to the school down the street because it didn't cost a lot. The school that was, you ain't gonna be paying no out of state tuition.
Okay, I got you. In the academy. That's Understood. All right. Well, now we call it HBCUs or PWIs.
Right.
And so I want to welcome our first of two guests. This guest is a very, very, very longtime friend of mine. We have worked together on numerous occasions. She is a graduate. She's a 2015 graduate of Florida AMU University, where she received her bachelor's degree in theater performance. She has performed all across the country. She has done Smokey Joe Cafe, The Story, the Color Museum. She was the originator of the Gift of the Magi 2.0, where she originated the Rodella that was written and directed by myself, and is performed every year at Mary Edison Theater in the Square. She has recently. That was a shameless plug, but it was about her. And most recently, she has taken a position as a logistician with the U.S. Look at me with the U.S. Defense Department. Let me bring in my sister, the one and only Noelle Strong.
Hi, Noelle.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, great. We are so excited and thankful for you to be here with us tonight.
Of course. I'm
I
dead
was studying to get that right.
I'm so dead.
Look at him practicing while we weren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm. I can only get bios. I can only do the bio once, so I want to make sure I get it right for y'all.
That is true.
I told you I didn't know what a logistician was 6 months ago, so.
Well, listen, you know what? You might be able to educate us on that tonight as well when we get into this conversation.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Wendy.
So listen, our other guest tonight is one of my dear, dear friends. Her name is Takesha Hill. She is she is a consummate educator from the Cobb County school system. But if I remember correctly, she comes from Edenton, Georgia, where she has done these amazing parades and programs educating people on Juneteenth. Matter of fact, she educated me on Juneteenth. So she has these huge programs every year for the community to celebrate Juneteenth. And this last year, when we couldn't do the parade because of COVID, she did a town hall conversation that I was a part of, and that was amazing. But she is also the teacher of the year at McEachern High School in Cobb County school system. If you ever wanted a U.S. history teacher, this is who you want. She has a couple of organizations. She is known as the social media personality heel story that we call an edutainer. She is a social media personality extraordinaire, an amazing person. She's authoring children's books with her brother. She also is one of the founders of this organization called Unprofessional Development, UD, where we unwind as educators on Friday nights and get together because the job as an educator is so hard. But let me tell you how brilliant she is, that when we get together as educators on Friday nights, everything that we do is actually professional development. They're always introducing teachers to new strategies, games, and activities that they can actually take back into their classroom as we sip on a little Kool-Aid and lemonade and water. Right. And so then her last organization is Classy Couture. She is working on a clothing line for educators and professionals that are not so stuffy and so stringent, but you have to show up professional. Let me tell you something. You want to see a well-dressed sister, wait till you bring her on. Guys, I cannot wait for you all to meet who we call her Hill story, but Miss Takesha Hill.
Hey! I need to get a laughing track and
unmute yourself. It's okay. There
Come
you
on,
go.
girlfriend. Come on, little bio. Come on now.
Pay attention. We're so happy for you all to be here, for you to be here with us tonight. I'm just so honored that you took the time to be here and hang out with us tonight. I'm excited.
All right, y'all. So here's the topic on hand: HBCU or PWI. First things first, for everyone who is watching, we want you to participate. So please, as we get through this we go through this conversation, make sure you're commenting. I'll post them up. We'll break into the conversation. We want to make sure you're involved. For everyone on the panel, I would love to know where you went to school and if it was an HBCU or PWI. I attended a PWI. I went to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. Wendy?
I also attended a PWI. I went to the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, Georgia. And for my undergrad and for graduate school, I went to Lesley University, which is a subsidiary of Cambridge University in Massachusetts.
Noelle.
Okay. Well, I went to FAMU, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. October 3rd, 1887. What? Okay. That was, yes.
Gotta represent.
And
I went to the University of Georgia, Go Dogs, in Athens, Georgia, and I received my master's, and I'm currently getting my doctorate degree from education, and it's a PWI as well. So.
Come on, Miss Doctorate.
Okay, doctor.
I want people to say it, child.
All right.
So
we want to know, everyone in the audience, if you went to a PWI or HBCU. So the first question on the doc, I'm going to go to you, Noelle, first. Nope, Noelle. I was going to call you Noelle first. Noelle, I want to go to you first. Talk to me about what brought you to an HBCU.
Interestingly enough, FAMU was the only school that I applied for. I am a 5th generation Rattler. So I knew where I was going at a very young age. And I actually, my freshman year at FAMU, before I moved, when we were like packing all of my stuff up, we found a letter or a note that I had written like in 3rd grade for a class project. And I was like, something, I'm going to TAP Middle School and I'm going to FAMU. Because I already know I'm going to get in because I got good grades. But I knew that I was going to FAMU my whole life. I didn't even try to apply anywhere else.
Wow. Come on, tradition and legacy.
We got some HBCUs.
Hi, Lorraine. How are you? I'm so glad you're here.
What HBCU did you go to, Lorraine?
So then Winona said that she went to Clark Atlanta University for undergrad. And then she went to Georgia State so she did both. Mario has been at all the schools.
Hill, so what brought you to your school?
I attended the University of Georgia. For me, similar to Noelle's story, when I was in 1st grade, I knew I was going to be a lawyer, and I have an essay in 1st grade talking about being a lawyer. And so for me, it rested on what was the best law school in Georgia, and it was the University of Georgia. So for me, it wasn't a lot of thought that honestly went into the process. And I really didn't consider HBCU or PWI. It was about going to school for the degree that I wanted. And for my daddy, it was whoever finna give you $2. You going? Real.
Mama Joy, she said she needed somebody had to give up some ducats. Okay, so we have so Lorraine said that she went to Tuskegee.
All right.
And then Joyce Hill, that's Mama Joyce, that's Hill Story's mother. She went to Savannah State and Georgia State.
Yes. Okay, so we got legacies in the building and we have destiny in the building.
Right.
What was the experience once you actually got there for you, Noelle? Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
I'm trying to like put words into like my first time on campus. So my first taste of like the HBCU experience was like my spring preview. And oh my gosh, that's when I fell in love. That's literally when I fell in love with the school. It was different. It was different from going to a predominantly Black school in Cobb County, like going to Pebblebrook or going to then switching from Pebblebrook and going to Hillsborough and going back to a predominantly white school. It was different to see all these Black people. Like, it, to put it in the simplest of terms, it was so different. And it was just like, wow, I feel like I belong here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know. It's a different experience from, like I said, from grade school being at a predominantly Black school versus a place of higher education. So,
But I love that you said, like, yeah, Winona said, Black people everywhere. I love that you said you felt like you belonged there. You know, like there was some equal footing, right? Everywhere you look, there was one issue that was not an issue.
right.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No. Exactly. And it's to be at an HBCU at a time like, oh my goodness, when Trayvon Martin happened, to be at an HBCU in the middle of something like that, it's a different experience that I don't think that I would have necessarily got. Maybe joining a Black student union, yes, but that whole sense of community, whole.
It's okay.
Oh, I think we lost you.
People don't respect the fact that you are ignoring phone calls for a reason.
Oh,
there it goes.
That's what happens when you're live.
Like,
But
how many?
it's okay.
No, you good?
Yeah. So Lorraine said that it was.
Right now.
But Lorraine said that it's an even playing field. Winona said that when she was at CAU during the LA riots. And Hill, your mama said, you know, she wanted you to go to Savannah State.
So here's something that I thought was quite interesting. So yes, we Noelle, both of us ended up in a school district that was predominantly Black. Middle school and high school. Shout out to Tap Middle School. I saw Miss Henderson was in here. Hey, Mama Henderson.
That's my friend.
That's your friend. That's my mama.
Oh, y'all have something in common.
Yes, she taught. Ooh, Jesus. 8th grade English. I had her. And she also had my older brother. So she's just like. By the time she got me, she knew how to handle me real quick because the older one and Mama had already gotten together.
Go ahead.
So for me in college, I actually never actually considered an HBCU because of the thing I wanted to study. There wasn't a directing program in the undergrad field in any of the HBCUs. And so when I decided I wasn't going to act, but I was going to direct, all HBCUs came off of the chart for me. It wasn't even like a thought.
So, okay. All right. Because so the lack of programs that they had for you was your decision making.
Absolutely. At the end of it, yeah.
And Ms. Henderson, I don't know if you can see the comments, Hill, so I'm going to keep reiterating them. Oh, there you go. Ms. Henderson said, I love you. Go ahead and go back to that one that you went to, Nate.
Okay.
So Winona said that she was at her HBCU during the Rodney King riots and the Simpson verdict. It's something about being around your people in those times. And so that's what I was going to say, even about high schools and middle schools, when you go to a predominantly, hi, Mother. And I was just about to bring that up, Alabama. I'm going there. When you go to predominantly Black high schools and middle schools, I think that it is a bit of the same experience. But I am the defector of my family.
Okay.
I am the defector. Everybody in my family went to Alabama A&M on the Hill, but me.
Why didn't you go?
It was out of state. You all know I'm a relational person. I do things based on relationships. And my best friend and I decided we were going to Georgia Southern University. And it was just that simple. We applied to about 4 schools together. And the one that we both got into, we just went. To which she left within a year.
Okay.
But I mean, it just was never a thought about it being a black school or a white school. Alabama A&M was in Alabama.
Now, okay.
And I didn't get scholarships. I don't think my daddy was playing that anyway. Now
Okay.
my baby sister went to Alabama A&M on 2 scholarships.
Mm.
Hey, Richard.
Because there's that legacy money that you didn't get to tap into.
Right.
Yes, I hear that. Mama Henderson went to Alabama A&M and Kennesaw State. She had both experiences.
Oh, okay.
I would love to hear about the Kennesaw experience, especially now, because that sucker has grown. It's a huge institution now. Here's what I want to know. Why? So for me, one of the other big things about this is the social justice aspect, which I really think is what leads many people in the conversation of it's HBCU or PWI, in the sense that what all that self-development that happens in the first 4 years of you not being with your parents for the first time, being on a campus, probably having your first job or so, and then all of the things that actually happen in life, right? Noelle started with Trayvon Martin. I started with Michael Brown. We have, it's just been time after time after time. So here's my big question. Do you believe you would be socially conscious as you are now, given if you went to the opposite school that you went to?
I would say for me, going to a PWI did not change who I was in terms of being a social activist. For me, I feel like I really came into myself as a social activist because of the school that I went to. And I mean, I think a lot of Black people, especially younger Black people, our generation, we're really coming into our social activism at this time because of the many things that are occurring around us. So I don't think my school had any bearing on who I am in terms of being an activist for my community or whatnot, because I'm still, like Mario said, BAF, Black as you know what, or whatnot. Like I said, PWI, but I still nux if you bucks. Okay, do not get it twisted. So, and then I want to go back to Noelle's experience, like when she arrived on campus, just seeing a lot of people like herself. I did not have that experience, and I'm glad my mom is in the comments. I remember when we showed up for orientation, and it was a sea of white people, and we were sitting in the car. She looked over, she was like, "You still want to do this?" Like, what we gotta do, Mama? We here now. It is what it is. So for being on that campus, when I did see Black people, we are best friends. Like Mario will tell you, we sat in statistics class our freshman year, and it might have been 100 people in the class. There were 3 Black people. I saw Mario sitting across the class. I said, "Oh, he about to be my best homie. He don't even know it." He came over and was like, "Hey, what you made on the test?" I can't remember. I think he made a B or whatnot. And I was like, "Oh, I 7." And he was through with me after that because he was like, "This bougie Black heifer." But we became best friends after that, though. So it was, even though we weren't like a Black institution, at the end of the day, you had 33,000 people that went to UGA. 4,000 of those people were Black, and we found each other.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
We created our own Black community within what was going on all around us, regardless. So I really did not feel like an injustice was done to me by going to a white school. It was a decision that I made as an 18-year-old. I did not know how that would affect me later on in life. I will say now, not that I don't regret going to UGA. I'm glad I went to UGA. I love Georgia. I love that I met my real friends there. But in terms of the activism aspect, I want to give to a Black institution. So for that, I would have liked to give my money to a Black school, but I was on scholarship anyway. Like I said, my dad said you weren't going nowhere unless it was free.
So in the comments,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. So I just in the comments we have. So I became more aware and more motivated.
Yes, absolutely.
In the PWI, that I agree with. So then I would like to hear from some of the people, because you have Richard in here that went to Morehouse. Mother is reminding me that I went to private schools in PWI high schools, and my baby sister who went to public schools was the ones that got the scholarships. She wants y'all all to know that, so let me make sure I put that out.
Let me ask you, Noelle, did you ever experience any racism attending an HBCU? Wait, hold on. I don't hear you.
It might be because you got the headphones in.
Your earbuds are not connected. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
So while she's working on that, Brittany said that I go to PWI, but the Black community found each other and sticks together, and we make it a
Historically Black, predominantly white.
So that is a part of what I was going to say about going to a PWI especially when I went to Georgia Southern back in 1990. That the Black community. When I went to Georgia Southern, I actually ended up finding people I went to elementary school together. They called us like when we would walk into a place, they go, "Oh, here come them Atlanta girls." Right, because it was so novice at that time. And those people I am still connected to. Those people are very, very close. Then when I went to West Georgia, I sang in the gospel choir there, and that was my cultural connection. My story is a little bit different than Keisha's because I don't have a lot of loyalty to my university. I have loyalty to the people that I'm connected to from the university, but like their pride of saying I went to Morehouse, I went to the Spelman University, I went to Alabama A&M, the city on the hill. I don't have that. I went to West Georgia. Yes, it's a great institution, but my connection was not the school. It was some of the people.
Let's try to see if we got Noelle back. No. No, we're gonna try.
I was like, what's going on? But I will say for me, like, I definitely did face a lot of racism at the University of Georgia. Day one, I faced racism, to be honest. And then Athens, the city of Athens, what a lot of people don't know is it is a Black city. Like it is one of the Blackest cities in Georgia. Time is not a Black Mecca in terms of there being a lot of industry and jobs for Black people. So most of the Black people who live in Athens actually work for the University of Georgia. And so it's also one of the poorest counties and cities in Georgia as well. So a lot of the stuff downtown and a lot, the clubs and in the retail spots that we would frequent were owned by white people. And so I remember in 2004, hold on, y'all, my dog's showing out.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh, Noelle is in the house.
Yes, Noelle. But yes, I remember in 2003, 2004, this lean with it, rock with it, nuck if you buck time, or whatnot. And basically, the clubs downtown had started a dress code that was like no big t-shirts and no white tennis shoes. So you're telling me Nelly didn't make this selection that we can't wear Air Force? Just say no Black people. You didn't want to at the club.
Wow.
And so, like somebody said in the comments, because I was, one of the few Black people in this city, at this college, I had to represent for us. And so, I was in a lot of Black organizations on campus as well, just for that. So yeah, I definitely. And then day one, my experience with racism was I lucked up and actually had a Black roommate. I did not ask, I guess they just put our two Black names together, child, Latasha and Takeshia. But there were 1,000 people who lived in my dorm. There were only 7 Black people in the dorm. Black people remember statistics. I remember this.
I know, yeah.
17 years ago, there was 1,000 people in Russell Hall. 7 of us were Black, and I just happened to have a Black roommate. And so on our hall, it was 3 Black girls. And this white girl, not knowing that because we lived across from the hall from each other, myself, my Black roommate, and my Black friend, we had our doors open all the time. So I guess she didn't know our doors were open. And she was like, I don't know how these N-words got into Georgia. They're just here because of, affirmative action. Baby, to say the least, she had to move. She had to leave.
Oh, wow. I'm sure.
I had a tough time on this hall.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm going to make it hard for you.
Oh, what's up? Did you overreact? You think we didn't hear you?
Because this N-word is here.
Oh, but baby, we here. And my grades and my SAT scores are probably better than yours. Please calm down.
Hello.
Please calm down. Honey.
Okay.
Well, to answer your question before my mic went out, did
Yeah.
I experience racism at an HBCU? And the answer is yes. If you are not familiar with the setup of FAMU, it is literally across the tracks from FSU.
Mm-hmm.
So we are right there with a very large PWI. So my freshman year, I had several encounters that were just kind of like very vague, and it kind of touched on colorism as well. But my first experience was I ordered a pizza from Papa John's and I had it delivered to my dorm. And it was, I mean, I took it as racism because it was a racist comment. So the pizza guy gets there, and of course it's a girls' dorm. They can't come in. They have to call you to come downstairs and get your pizza. Well, my full name, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, is Noelle Strong. That's not necessarily a stereotypical Black name. So my name is printed out on the receipt. And I opened the door and I was like, "Hey, this is me." And he goes, "Noelle?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "What are you doing at a school like this with a name like that?" And I'm like, I said, "What's that supposed to mean?" And it was like, they start choking on their words when they realize what they've said is offensive. I said, "What does that mean?" And he was like, "Well, I mean," I said, "What, my name's supposed to be like Bon Qui Qui or something because I go to an HBCU?" And he was like, "No, no, no." I said, "No, you have a good night. You keep delivering pizzas. I'm going to get my degree."
Hello.
Like, it was just, I thought that was like the craziest thing to me, that what do you mean I'm supposed to have a particular name to be at this Black school?
Okay, so that brings me to a topic. I'm jumping in. I don't know if Nate had another. Did you have a question where you were going?
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so now that you have your degrees, I wanted to say hi to some of the people that have come in. Hi, Ashley. I like to say her name like that. And to, let's see, and some other people were saying that. Hill, everybody said they knew you was gonna fight. Hi, Willie. If we haven't spoke to you yet,
That's my brother.
I just want to
Another
make sure
reason
it's
I went
hi
to
to the
Georgia,
people.
my brother went to the University of Florida 3 years before me, and we're rivals. So that's another thing.
Okay. So now that you all have the degrees that you have from an HBCU, from a PWI, and then Takesha, you can answer to this too about HBCUs because you are like me, an educator in high school where you have worked with white faculty. How has it been since you've gotten your degrees? What about, like, do people respect your degree, Noelle? Do you feel like people respect your degree?
Okay, well, so my undergraduate degree, I didn't mention, I went back and I did online school. I had my MBA. That's how I ended up doing Department of Defense.
Come on, MBA. Give me all the position.
Nate was there when I started going back to school. But so it's different because I already had a degree that people don't really hold too much respect, because I had a theater performance degree. So people already look at it kind of like, what did you go to school for? Like, that's a waste of money. But I will say that in some circuits where I was going as far as Black repertory theaters in Florida, you went to FAMU? Oh, okay. So I know you're trained, like that kind of thing. Now in this world, in this Department of Defense world, it's a little different. Like I was saying to you off the air, I'm starting to pick up on the good old boy system that the Army still runs on. But I don't think I do know for a fact that sometimes, like, people have tried to compare their degree from a PWI to a degree from an HBCU, and I do remember having this kind of conversation with people who went to FSU while I was at FAMU, and there were Black students at FSU who basically would be like, "Oh, girl, your degree don't hold no weight in comparison to mine." And I don't think that that's the case, because you see now HBCU grads are thriving. Hello, Vice President.
Come on, Miss.
Okay.
What would they call her? If you're AK, what they gonna call her? Sarah, Miss
Right.
Madam
Well,
Vice President.
I'm a
That's
Delta,
what.
but
I'm just saying. But I have a girlfriend that's a Delta, and she was making a joke that that's what the AKAs are gonna be saying from now on.
yeah.
Yes, right, from an HBCU, and that brings me to my point. I have heard so many comments when the election happened and they called it, and they finally called the election. I cried. Now, I cried on top of all of the stress and angst that all of us have had over this election and what that means. But even for me personally, because in the 12 years that I was a high school teacher, I spent at least 7 of those listening to my white colleagues make comments about Black students making choices to go to HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting your talent.
Wow.
Nobody's going to respect your degree. You're going to spend all that money for what? It would be better for you on an application for your degree. Go back there for masters. Get your masters from there. Nobody cares about where your master's is from, just that you have one. And all of these things said, Nate, are you getting all that feedback?
Yes, I am.
What do I need to do?
Bring your mic closer to you and bring the volume down.
Okay. And all of those things that were said, just denigrating and not respecting our institutions. So when I see us now as a people and women and men that are thriving from these institutions, it does my heart good. And even when I hear people say, if we were to take all of our athletes and all of our children,
right, absolutely,
and steer them to HBCUs,
Mm-hmm.
your programs, your sports programs would be trash.
Right, exactly.
You would have nothing.
Yeah, but also all the other departments of those schools will all benefit, right? Because the truth of education is that not only is it a business, but it is a business that makes a lot of money on the sports entertainment system.
Yes.
And once you have a great sports department that's bringing in loads of money, many of the other departments have to start getting funds because the rest of the school looks like it's just for sports. And so there's going to be a great ripple effect that's going to happen now with the HBCUs, and that in the next decade, if these athletes continue the trend of going to HBCUs first, we will see that they're going to grow. They're going to get new buildings. They're finally going to get the resources they need. There's going to be scholarships available for individuals of all kinds. So I'm excited for it as well with that change.
Right. And I mean, I definitely agree with what Ms. Henderson was saying in the comments. Like, the narrative is changing. And that's just, I mean, even myself as being an 18-year-old, 19-year-old AP, she'll tell you, they can contest, Mario, they can contest that we thought because we were at a PWI that our education was better. But now as an adult, let's talk about growth. When you know better, you step into your Blackness and you understand that sometimes our stuff isn't good enough. We have been predisposed to this disposition to believe that our stuff is not good enough, that we have to pump into ourselves. So that's why I say that's the only thing I feel, some type of way about. I did not know, I came from a very small town. My brother would tell you we didn't have the best counseling, circumstance. Now that I work with counselors that go hard for the kids, I know what it was supposed to look like, but it didn't look like that for me. So for me, it was like, I just really did not think about who was going to be at the school. But now, like I said, I understand the importance of giving back to our community, giving back to our schools, because these were the only schools that would accept us 50 years ago.
Right.
So, we have to understand that. And I do hope that the narrative continues to change. I do hope that our athletes will see that, they don't have the locker room that these big PWIs have, they don't have the facilities, but if you went there, they would.
Like, I mean, I'll use an analogy. I won't use an analogy. We go to the number one gym in the nation.
Period.
You ain't lying, bro. It's the truth. They weren't looking out.
Right. You're right.
I was. I didn't know nothing about this.
No, so I went to the number one HBCU, Florida.
They didn't even tell me about. They didn't even tell me about you. They didn't even tell me. I ain't even know Noelle.
Right. And so like sometimes everything that's shiny is not, everything that's glitter is not gold. Right? Like when I think about where we go every morning.
Oh yeah.
It's number one. It's top notch. I don't care about another place with state of the art, whatever. Give me what I got.
I don't care about your sauna because we having a good time at, and I've never want to work out. But it's us. We run it. It is cultivated for us. That gym is about us.
It is about us.
It is.
Number one in the nation, top down. So yeah, you're right. I'm glad that the narrative is changing. So, okay, where do you want to go, Nate? Because I have a question, but I'm gonna wait to see where you're going.
Okay, where I want to go, because we're getting close to the wrap up of this segment, is I actually just wanted to talk about what you actually found beautiful about the PWI.
Yes, Shayla.
Like I want to hear. Part of our audience are those who are looking at either or. And I just think now in the time that we're in, you can no longer just choose a school and not consider it, as the name of the school, but whether it is predominantly white, what's the demographic of the school, right? And so I think for me, community was such a huge thing when I was going to school. I wanted some form of a traditional education, which is why I went to a school that the city was the school. Where everything was there for us to just grow and mature. But in that, I kept telling everybody we needed to pop the bubble because I went to a PWI and I wanted to become a rebel. So part of me goes, I wonder how much of a rebel I would be. I am one of those that considers to weigh the option because especially now I'm getting my master's. And again, when I considered my master's, I was like, well, maybe I should go to the HBCU now. But then again, I was like, but where are you going to get a master's in fine arts in an HBCU for direct?
Same thing happened to me.
Right. And so now it's like, oh, I definitely can't go. But
so there aren't any theater schools. There are no HBCU schools of theater.
No.
Hey, Lindsay.
There are no HBCUs that hold an opportunity for a degree in fine arts with a focus in directing. That does not.
There are no HBCUs that have a doctorate in history, in African American history.
And I do want to say
the one that does is not anywhere here. I would have to sit in class in a whole nother state, and so it was no opportunity for me to get the degree that I wanted at HBCU because I did want to get my doctorate there.
Go ahead, Noelle.
I wanted to say that there is a difference between people who choose not to go to a PWI for reasons that are not necessarily because there's no degree program, reasons that stem from I'm looking down on HBCUs versus I know that to be so many people's stories that I wanted to go to, it's not the degree program. And I mean, that's something that has to change for us. Okay. And that's going to come with funding and things like that. But that's a lot of people's issue is not the programs are not available.
Okay, so that speaks to what Richard just said. He said Morehouse students have to study courses at Spelman due to Morehouse not offering the program. I do know of that. I know that those, like the AU Center, they have to study different things. But that, you know what, we need to look at that as an opportunity, right, Noelle? That means that's an area of growth for us, as a people, just like we need to own our own gas stations. We need to make sure that our students, if we want parents to bring their children, especially their athletes, to our HBCUs, and the HBCU has to be able to offer everything that's there. And I just wanted to bring up a couple of the comments. Ashley was saying that at the PWI at UVA, you all had like 3,000 Black people together, and you all held each other down. Like you relied on each other, so it built a community.
But I don't know if that. Well, I will say. That sounds beautiful, but that was not my experience.
Right. I wanted to say that I know that they had a different experience than we did.
Okay, so today's going to be the day where everyone's going to interrupt our show, and I'm going to go crazy because someone's knocking on my door. So I will be right back.
Well, go ahead, Wendy. What we talking about, girl? What we
So this
talking
is
about?
what happens when things go live. Okay, so here's my question to you and even to the audience. So now that we know these things, right? I think that we're all on the same page. I'll just kind of say it like I have HBCU envy. I know envy is a bad word. You're not supposed to use that term. But what I say is that when I taught in Atlanta public schools, I learned like there was a culture shock that I went through, and I learned a whole nother level of culture because there were teachers there. Yes, you see, I got to represent today, Ashley. There were the educators grew up in Atlanta public schools. They went to the AU Center and got their degrees and brought that right back to Atlanta public schools. You know, so there was a culture there. There is a culture there in Atlanta. And the same thing teaching at Pebblebrook, you know, a predominantly Black school with so many educators there that were Greek and went to HBCUs, that there was just a cultural vibe for Pebblebrook that was just unmatched. So now that we know all of these things, whether we went to an HBCU or we went to a PWI, how do you, as you move forward and you have children, what is your plan as far as college?
Well, for me, I don't have the HBCU envy because I am the culture and I bring it everywhere I go. People will tell you, my friends in the comment, they know I bring people together. I bring Black people together. Even when I got to the campus that I'm at now, like I choose to first of all teach Black students every time. Every school that I've taught at had a strong Black presence because that's who I want to teach, to be honest. And I had going to a PWI actually prepared me for my longest job that I've had thus far. I was the only Black teacher at the Early College Academy of Columbus for years, and all the students were Black. So for me, it was important for me to be there so that they could have Black positive representation. At my school now, we have a strong Black faculty and whatnot. But you know, I brought me Henderson to tell you, I brought the people together now. I'm gonna find us and I'm gonna bring us together. That's my mission in life. Bring us together. Going forward as a parent, I will ensure that my students, just my mom did, like my mom said, she wanted me to go to Savannah State. The only reason I didn't go to Savannah State is that when we went to visit the campus, it wasn't the campus that she knew. You know, the city of Savannah had gotten very, very rough in terms of crime, and they had fences around the whole campus. So it sullied her experience there, and it just wasn't the same thing. So that's the only reason I really did not consider Savannah State or whatnot, and that's it, and that's all. But going forward as a parent, you know, I think it's so important that you introduce your kids to all things. For me, I will, of course, encourage HBCUs because once again, we need to give back and we need to honor the schools that accepted us when nobody else would. The schools that taught us how to read and write fresh out of slavery. Like we need to give back to our institutions because that's why a lot of Black schools are going down and they don't have the funding because we need to come together and support our own entities and quit waiting for the next person to say that our stuff is special. We need to acknowledge that our stuff is special. So I'm definitely going to push it for my children when I do have kids. But at the end of the day, it is their decision. To me, what's important as a teacher, I tell my students the same thing. You know, you go to the school that I follow the money. If they have your degree and they're going to give you some money, I don't.
Cash rules everything around and cream, get the money.
Right. If you're
bills,
not going to debt and you can get that same degree, you better go on over there where they give you $2. And that's what happened with my brother and I. We went to school for free. It wasn't no conversation about it.
Right. So what I hear you saying is just like we have this campaign to buy Black, it also with us having a campaign to use our dollars to affect the community, we also have to, that gives us the right to demand a level of excellence or service from those businesses. You can't say to me, support Black businesses, and then you're going to give me crappy service. No, I want Chick-fil-A. I want Chick-fil-A service.
Right. Absolutely.
And you can do that, HBCUs. You can do that, all the organizations. Okay, Noelle, what are you doing moving forward? When you have children, even if you're not going to have children, fictitiously, what would you do?
Well, as a Rattler, we say our children have 3 options: FAMU, Florida A&M, or Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. So there's that. That's where my coins are going. If I have children, that's where my coin is going.
She said her money going over there to the school across the railroad track.
Okay.
All right, Nate.
Have a legacy.
Right.
Am I answering that question? What's
sure.
the question?
If you moving forward, if you had children, would they have an option, or would you want them to?
I would. My fur babies will 100% be attending HBCUs in the future.
The fur babies, yes.
No matter what, they will be attending HBCUs. I mean, I guess unless they end up in the same position where the degree the major they want isn't there.
Right.
But I hope by the time I decide to invest in a fur baby that they're there.
So all of my oldest daughter is a senior in college now, and she is my alum at the University of West Georgia. And I actually became a little bit more interested in the school just because she was there. But my youngest two, who are both in high school, are both looking at major PWIs and major HBCUs. I'm going to push the HBCU, but I agree with you and Mama Joyce that talked about go where the money.
Go where the money
is. I mean, but I want them to have that experience, though. I really do. So we shall see. I think I saw a couple of comments. I know Winona said that they're looking at HBCUs, and but because of the degree that her children, she says she's considering degrees, volleyball, and scholarships.
All right.
Yes, volleyball.
So okay, cool.
So somebody else's, so Tequila's children want to go to Spelman and Tuskegee.
I will say I do want to say this about my experience after graduation, being an alum of an HBCU. The community is different. I will say that. I know I can't speak from that of a PWI aspect. And I know that you were saying, like, you found each other and you have your community within that. But I think the network as a whole, as alum, is different. I had a cake business when I was living in Atlanta. And when I tell you the majority of my business came from rattlers just saying, oh, I'm looking for a rattler specifically. Like, I need somebody to do this. Do you know somebody who went to FAMU who can do this? That's one thing about my HBCU is we look out for each other. We are always gonna put on for the next part. You went to FAMU? Oh, take my card. Like it's a different type of community where you feel like there's someone always who got your back.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah. Our institutions do that, right? Look how our Greek institutions support each other. Exactly. You could be two women in a building, ain't never seen nobody before, and you find out you're in the same sorority, bam, you're together. Right. Exactly. And our black universities do the same thing. Our institutions stick together. Churches are like that. Denominations are like that. Black institutions, there's something about that. And I agree with that, Noelle, I'm sorry. That is exactly right.
And like always, these conversations get so in depth that they can go on forever, but we have to move on. And so I just want to thank you, Noelle. I want to thank you, Hill Story, for joining us as our first guest on the Mentor Mentee podcast. Y'all are fantastic. Y'all had so much to share. I know that our audience enjoyed. As you see, the comments are popping off. Noelle, give us where we can find you, what you're doing, all the stuff.
Okay, because I got to hurry up and get off before Lexi cusses me out. You can follow me at _Noelle on Instagram. I am a brand ambassador for a cosmetic line. I Am Cosmetics by Lexi Allen. Follow her on Instagram, Lexi Television. And every Wednesday and Sunday, I go live with her and we do makeup battles using her products, 45-minute segments. And yeah, that's what I'm about to do when we get off. That's why I'm looking crazy with just eyebrows on.
Okay.
You look good.
Yeah, like those eyebrows.
And what about you, Hill?
What am I giving my information?
Yeah, I don't know what you want to give out.
You can check me out at Heal Story on Facebook. On Instagram is at Heal_story. And I just give funny, teacher insight and whatnot. You need to follow our business, Ashley Powell, who is in the comments. We are a part of a trifecta that is known as Show It to 'em, Miss Torres. Professional development, in which we provide happy hour trivia nights and basically unorthodox professional developments for all professionals. Started off with teachers, but look, if you need a break from your job, join us this Friday at 5 to 7. Come on now. And we will have, and if you go to my page, Heal Store, or at Unprofessional Development on IG, you will see our flyer, 5 to 7. We have the Zoom information. Join us for a virtual happy hour. And we'll be coming to you guys tomorrow with the drink of the day. So you have your drink ready for Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys got to go to the page so you can have your ingredients for that drink.
Yes.
I'm going to have water.
And I have to plug everybody. Also, my brother is in the comments. He is Willie Hill. If you are a hip hop enthusiast like him, you need to follow the Frito and Willie podcast. Okay, let me know.
Now, are you coming back for Dream or Reality?
You will have me.
Okay. So she'll be back in it. So Miss Hill will be back in a few minutes, guys.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
It's real quiet now in our.
Yeah, it's okay. So I am so ready to get into my rant then. So
Okay. Here we go, guys. Wendy's rant.
Okay, so listen, here is my rant for the day. It is not 100% about HBCUs and PWIs, but it is. Okay, y'all remember those parents that be at the Little League games and at the basketball games, and they always talking about, you don't have to give every child a participation certificate. Why does everybody have to win all the time? That, everybody doesn't need a trophy. I remember the first time that I did a pageant, right? So I for 10 years, I was a pageant director. And so the first pageant that I did, we had a winner, a runner-up, a second runner-up, and a fan favorite. That was it. Let me tell you what these parents did. I was bombarded by parents, and the principal called me in the office the next day. These parents are so upset. You only gave out 4 awards. Wendy, you have got to give out more awards. Why I got to give out more awards? She won, and she won. I just made up some other stuff. So as the pageant went on, everybody had to get a certificate. Everybody had to get a trophy. Everybody. And those parents that said that you need to teach your children that it's okay to lose. You need to teach your children that everybody doesn't win. That's them PWI parents. Now, y'all see where I'm going with this? That's them PWI parents, because see, people over at the HBCU, they know that we don't win. They gotta wait for for financial aid to come in. They got to deal with all kind of stuff. What am I trying to say? We as a people know what it means to lose. Y'all tell y'all president that he lost. He didn't win. The election is over. He need to pack his stuff and get up out the White House so that Joe and Miss Kamala Harris can get in there and do what they need to do. I'm sick of this coddling this man. Y'all the main ones told us that we didn't teach your children that they don't need to win, that everybody doesn't win. There is a winner and there is a loser. Well, he is a loser, and he needs to get on up out of the White House. I'm sick of it. I'm tired now. That's my rant. Y'all going to the same people that told us that everybody doesn't need a participation ribbon, that everybody doesn't win. Y'all going to tell y'all president he can stop trying to take them votes over there in Michigan. Them folks ain't going to try not to certify that election so he can try to get back in. You lost, sir. You're done. Bye-bye now. Hit the road, Jack. Okay.
I didn't even know you were holding on to that. But I'm glad you got that out, because I had no idea you were holding on to that today.
Come on, madam.
When they really, when they be ranting about one thing and then it really come out what they really bothered by. Yeah. She really just still bothered by this man. That's what she's bothered by. And this man is rooted. She's rooting this man and all them PWI parents because those are the ones who voted for him. That's what we really stated.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
not us, PWI, them.
The them of the PWIs.
Them of the PWIs.
Yes, I hear that. And
Go
now
get y'all president.
And now you want me going to a Sugar Bear Chronicle with that? That's my problem. Then I'm like, okay.
Okay, let's bring it on down.
No,
The Sugar Bear Chronicles by Emil.
We don't got to bring it into a jazz session, but I'm just saying.
Mama said, clean out his locker. He's done.
Send him home. I hear y'all. I'm gonna keep Sugar Bear Chronicles short.
Okay.
Simply because this hasn't been a great Sugar Bear week. And so the truth of the matter is that you're not always in a state of mind to share love, but to share love with yourself. And so this is a week of self-love, which means reminding yourself to give yourself time away from the internet, time away from the blogs, time away from your phone, time away from television. Spend time with yourself, take a bath, do a bubble bath, cook yourself a good meal, have a drink, have a glass of wine, watch the sunset. Like, remember those, just think about those things that relax you and take you out of the distraction. And I think as we are coming into Thanksgiving, I know we still get to have the episode before Thanksgiving. And I know I'm sure many of us either aren't celebrating Thanksgiving or don't use the term Thanksgiving. We can get into that conversation next week. But as we come across that holiday that I'm sure many will still decide to celebrate, take this time out, because next week you're probably gonna be on a whole bunch of Zooms, calls, talking to family all across the country, or you're gonna have a bunch of people in your house that you're not supposed to have in your house, and you're gonna be praying to God that ain't none of them sick. So how about this week? We just take care of ourselves.
Jennifer, you need to come see me talking about you ain't never seen a sunset.
That is a line from one of my favorite plays.
Oh, okay.
Dominique Morrisseau's Sunset Baby.
Well, I just told on myself then.
You sure did, because she said I ain't never seen a sunset before, which is in her monologue. But it's okay. It's good to see you, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Yes. So that is my Sugar Bear. Take time for yourself. Please take time for yourself.
And Ashley, remember, I met them other people at the PWI, not us. Them. Okay.
You know, we never know what these conversations are going to end up with. Like,
no,
I have to tell you, we purposely decide to unscript. Like, I'm not interested in us having a scripted piece of work ever. It's not exciting for us. We like to see things go crazy. I don't like people knocking on my door unannounced, but it is what it is. It was okay. It was a cat food. I wasn't gonna go get it, so he had to deliver it. But
downstairs.
So let's get into. We went a little bit over. We happy y'all still with us. Let's bring Hill Story back in, and Hill Story is gonna go first, y'all.
Okay, that's perfect.
The tradition.
Okay.
So, hold on. I keep forgetting I gotta do this.
Do I need to? Let me mute me. I'm gonna mute me.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the show, and per usual, our tradition is I ask everyone the same question. If you're in the comments, please answer the question however it draws to yourself. And Ms. Hill, my question to you today is today's dream tomorrow's reality, or is tomorrow's dream today's reality?
I would say I'm going to go with our conversation that we've had today. I would say that today's dream is tomorrow's reality. As aforementioned when I was saying, going off of what Ms. Henderson said earlier, like the narrative is changing for us. I tell my students all the time, I teach ethnic studies right now, that even though I don't like the political climate, I don't like the social climate, the fact that we do have to have the Trayvon Martins, Michael Browns, most recently the Philando Castillos, all of that stuff to really open our eyes to what is going on in our world. I hate that stuff happens, but at the same time, I do love to see the camaraderie that's happening in the African-American community. And I do love to see, us really, get angry and showcasing that, it's a new time. To have a Black VP is so major to me. So for me, I just feel like we're really understanding, and sometimes you have to go through stuff in order to see the other side. And I just feel like everything that we're going through, this is our generation's Rodney King. This is our generation sharecropping. This is our generation civil rights movement. This is, our, assassination of MLK. So if we got to go through this to understand that we need to put our kids in Black schools, we need to put our athletes in Black schools, then, it is what it is. So I just love to see us giving back to our community, growing more Black owned businesses and supporting our own people. So
I'll take that. What you got, Wendy?
Okay, so I'm gonna say maybe maybe we need to mute somebody else, but I'm gonna say today's reality is tomorrow's dream, because there are some things that I am working on right now that are reality. They are hard. They are stressful, but they are necessary. Right? You get up at 4:00 in the morning. You go and do some things that you think you love, but once the beat drops, you're like, why did I do this to myself? Right? And so you're going, and then you go back in the afternoon, and your body is tired, or it might be for somebody else. You're going through some things, and you're doing the work right now because it's going to bring you a result later. And I say that it's tomorrow's dream because I am at a place where I am hitting goals I didn't even know were possible. I had never conceived before. I never even knew I was this person that you're looking at. This person did not exist. So right now, the work that I am doing is creating and developing another person and more goals that I don't even know of yet. I'll be saying that, I have this goal, and it's not even conceived in this mind because this mind is still making up stuff. So for me, what the reality of today, what you put into today, is what you're going to sow later. So I want to leave this with you. You may not reap where you sow. You may be doing some things for some people. You may be doing some things at a particular place. You may be putting in some work and nobody is giving you any kudos. They're not respecting the work you're doing. They're not acknowledging it. Nobody might ever say amen or okay, you're doing a great job. But no, you will reap what you sow. So it may not be where, but you will reap what. So my reality today is that I am putting in seed today because I'm going to reap a harvest later. Your turn.
I
love doing
y'all
that
some
thing.
queens. Okay. Y'all some queens, man. How am I supposed to go on top of both of that? Here's my thing. I'm gonna say today's dream is tomorrow's reality. And I speak presently to the topic on hand. I just want to see more Black people go to HBCUs. I'm gonna say it. I didn't say it all episode. I don't know why I didn't say it all episode. But I want to see less Black people going to PWIs and going to HBCUs, and that is the dream today. And it's for no particular reason than we need to learn how to interact with ourselves and with the diaspora of ourselves. And when that finally does happen, I believe we will be a strong human race that I know that we are. And so that is my dream today. And I look forward to seeing the reality of that happening. What an episode this was, man.
Yeah, awesome.
I want to thank all of y'all for joining us today for episode 4 of the Mentor Mentee podcast. Hill, you are a fantastic guest. I'm sure we're going to be bringing you back again. Look at you. Yeah. Also, I've been checking out this map behind you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Come on now, world.
Come on, show the globe.
Come on.
The world ain't flat.
Come on
now. So we want to thank Ms. Hill for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you, friend.
Thank y'all for having me. I really enjoyed myself.
Absolutely. And until next time, thank you.
Yes, I'm Wendy Torres.
And I'm Emil Thomas. This was the Mentor Mentee Podcast. We'll see you next week. Please make sure that you have liked, subscribed, and followed us on all our social media pages. It is free for you to share, and it helps us get our views and our subscribes up. So please do that favor for us, and we will see you next week at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Deuces. Bye.